Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3 of this Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 as France. This is, of course, with the La Resistance, and we are going to see a little bit more of the new focus tree. Now, let's unpause. Let's do this. Okay, you guys are almost done, so I just want to watch these guys just have this wonderful new ability to just stop training when they're finished. It's great. This is just one of those user experience things which is just so important. I'm so happy that it's now here. 92, 93. The other benefit of doing all of this training, of course, is it is giving us a little bit of army experience, which is definitely going to come in useful. Field hospitals finished. Okay. Now, oh no, it's still 38. Let's do this.
Écoutez.
Listen up. 98. 99. What's that button? Stopped. Beautiful. It's amazing. I do wish that there was a way of stopping units which don't need training to stop training them as well.
Attention.
So you could just like leave it completely automated, especially because of the way that troop deployment works. But that's such a nice change. Like I'm just happy that we have that now. Because so many times I've just left an army training forever when there was absolutely no reason to do so. Alright, how are we doing for equipment shortages? We have... Yes, that's true. We haven't actually deployed any of our aircraft yet. What are we producing aircraft-wise? Anything? We are not producing any aircraft. Okay. That's probably fine. In fact, I'm going to move the Richelieu to the back of this list. And the Dunkirk too. This feels like a lot less ships retraining. Oh, it's because we moved them. Right. Yeah, that was a thing. Okay, so if we go back to the production list... There they all are. So I think we want to move the Richelieu even further down. This feels better. Because there's no way I'm waiting until 1940s to finish those up. In fact, these two are 39s. Let's also move you down. Wait, you're a 38. I think these two I'm going to move down because I'd really like to have some of the refits done before the war breaks out. So let's move you here. I really wish there was a way of reducing the minimum number of shipyards working on this. Unfortunately there isn't. I'm going to drop it down to 1 and that's it. There isn't a way of like dropping it all the way to the bottom, is there? No. Alright, so be it. Sometimes it will rejig those. I don't know what the cause is, but it does sometimes. Meanwhile, armies still training the last of the
Attention.
mechanized units. Are we making motorized? We should be. Yes, we are. Not a huge amount, but that's okay. Our Freedom Front is done, and boom, 72%. We're up to 50% stability, which is great. We could stimulate the market, but that I don't think we need to do. So this is either going to be the intervention in France or review foreign policy. I think we're going to review the foreign policy because, like I said, I want to get this strengthened government going as soon as possible. The civil war in Spain has brought the clash between ideologies to our very doorstep. We must tread carefully, lest the conflict spill over into our country. I like all the changes. I like this feeling of being in a race against time playing as France. It's kind of cool. Passive sonar, done. So now we have the ability to upgrade our destroyers. You know what? I think we're going to go to level 2. We're just going to get really good convoy escort destroyers. How long does that one take? Only 70 days. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The naval ones are a bit shorter.
Aux ordres. Écoutez.
Okay, civilian factories are done. What would it take to increase our mobilization? 15 war support, 25 war support. Do we continue with the civilian factories, or do we start building some militaries? I think we've got to start militarizing. Let's go in the... Oh, actually... Let's go here. And then here. A little bit risky putting my militaries this far forwards. I'm aware. I'm just going where the infrastructure is at its greatest. So we do now have 48 military factories. How many does Germany have? Probably 35-ish? Because, yeah, France's industry is surprisingly strong. It just can't access most of it.
Attention.
Once it gets going, it really gets going, though. Right, that was intervention in Spain. Let's review the foreign policy. The Continental Order that was established in 1919 looks increasingly under threat. It is time that we review our foreign policy options to secure new alliances to weather the coming storm. Did these guys... Yes, they are now petitioning for our aid, which is going to allow us to start lend-leasing them some equipment. And it would be quite nice if we can get the Republicans to win. Alright, let's take a look. Intervention in the Spanish Civil War. Groups all across the political spectrum want to intervene in the Spanish Civil War in one way or another. However, there is considerable concern that the war may spread to our country if we take too open a stance in support of one side. We must be careful to tread a narrow path if we want to ensure a friendly government is left in control of Spain. Allow military aid. Unlocks decision, send non-military aid to France, which will send support equipment. However, we'll drop our stability while it's active. Allow arms purchases. Will significantly drop our stability, but it does increase the war support. Allow sending of weapons, massively drops stability, but increases war support and lend-lease tension limit. So we can basically lend-lease to anyone if we do that. Allow volunteer work. All parties in the Spanish Civil War will gain manpower based on the relative strength of their respective ideology in France. I mean, we're 100% democratic. I think this is more of a communist thing to do. They are democratic at the moment. I wonder, who would... Change in popularity of communism. That one goes non-aligned. Communism gain. Stability, units. Stability, research speed, political power. Oh, wow. That's an interesting idea. Place 1 fort in all provinces with 1 victory point, 2 forts in all with 3, 3 forts in all with 10, and 4 forts in all with 30. That's communism support. Requires future of the Republic. I guess that this is democratic. So it kind of looks like having a massive democratic support. I mean, that's just manpower. I don't know that they necessarily need manpower. Invite the German Reich to the Non-Intervention Committee. Britain, Soviets, Italy, and then this is a direct intervention. Requires more than 25% war support, though. This will get it to 21. And the nice thing about this is it's supporting both sides. So how's your manpower situation going? Yeah, you still got some, so I don't think it's something we want to do now. But we might well want to in the future. Because I think it's probably weaponry that they're low on. Into war artillery. Right, it is now 37, so we definitely want to get the construction going. Oh no, it was... laissez-faire, which gives us the industry income. Industry bonus. Our economy will become more efficient after a period of about 2 years. I'm curious about what that does too. It doesn't actually say. If it's the 3 research bonuses and just says it will take about 2 years for these to fully kick in, or if it'll actually give us a bonus of some kind called laissez-faire, I don't know. We've gone with the safe option. And we can also support the Finns when the Winter War begins.
Attention.
You guys are almost done. In fact, I bet you guys are slowly training because there's no fuel. So if I just stop that for a bit and let some fuel come in. In fact, there's not going to be fuel for a while because, yeah, we were receiving only 4% of the fuel that we needed. Though the political situation in Spain has long been unstable, it appears that the severity of the conflict has taken the Spanish government by surprise. They've requested any aid we can muster to help them in their fight against fascism, and urged us to not dally too long in this critical time. It is doubtful whether the Republican government can win the current civil war without outside assistance, and though the certainty of a victory for the democratic Spain would be a desirable outcome, it is likely that providing this aid would encourage communist sympathizers in our own country. So they rely on us, we must aid them even at our own risk. Or cannot risk our own political stability to aid them. I'm going to do it. We will get 10% more communism, but I think, yeah, we are still rooting it out. Because that communism banned thing is still on. And now I can send you guns. Send and lease, here we go. I'm going to send you 50% of the rifles that we are producing and 50% of the artillery we're producing. Bearing in mind that we are now militarizing. And we will be very soon. And this should be a big help to them. although they'll be on a war economy. And also, Germany and Italy are probably... yeah, sending volunteers to the USSR did? Yeah, the USSR did too. Are they getting guns from those guys? Just Italy, not Germany. And this will allow the motorized to catch up. There's the active sonar. Okay. What was the penalty that's giving us the doctrine? Victor's the Great War. Which I'm guessing is going to be here. Yeah, it is. That's a bit of a ways down. So we still can't do a doctrine, I don't think. 37, we want to do the industrial tax. Really start ramping that production up. Look at that, communism's gone almost. Already. This daily change does not scale. However, this is also making the non-aligned stronger. Regional Defense Council of Aragon declared war on Spain. Bugger. Unfortunately, this means that the Republicans just lost a bunch of territory. The anarchists have risen. No sign of the Carlists yet, though this was saying that there was a chance that they would. Franco becomes leader for the fascists. And the non-aligned. Impending Carlist uprising. Impending Carlist uprising. So these can help reduce the... when it will occur. And the longer they can survive without it, I think the stronger they become. Like the fascists. Might even be possible to bypass completely if they get rid of it for long enough. Okay. Oh, we have military factories. Make me more guns, please. We're going to need them. Anarchist uprising in the Spanish Civil War. Continued government attempts at reasserting centralised control over the mostly independently acting anarchist communes in northwestern Spain, as well as the Stalinist repression of dissident communist viewpoints, has now led to a full-blown infighting in the Republican front. Initially limited to street fighting and low-scale clashes between the militias and the government or the Stalinist forces, the unwillingness for either side to compromise has meant the conflict has rapidly escalated in just a few days. The reallocation of military resources to deal with this internal threat means the front lines against the nationalists have been noticeably weakened. The Republicans hardly need outside assistance to lose. Alright, how's your manpower looking? I mean, the anarchist manpower is looking awful. You are still democratic. This will increase the communist aid. It really depends on which direction they go. Requires no pasaran and crush the revolution. This one requires Relocate the gold reserves and crush the revolution. I don't know. If they go this way, then I need to stop supporting them. If they go this way, then I'll support them further. How's that? I think that's probably the wisest option. There's the foreign policy done, so we have enough political power now to do stuff if we need to, but I'm going to be saving that for the moment, I think. Alright, next, buy time. So this path will make it more likely, I think, that you... Yeah, this is the Little Entente, or the... Yeah. This allies you to Czechoslovakia, which I don't want to do. We definitely want to buy time. We are not ready to face the Germans in the field. Our allies are weak, our military is outdated. We might have to make some sacrifices if we want to survive. Yep, just maybe. Now, do we get any of these guys cheap? No. Masigli is the confirm Eastern commitments is cheap. The humble appeaser. Ah, completed by time. So this will get us more stability but lose us war support. Okay. To be determined.
Pareil.
Alright, you guys back to training. I meant with Shift K. There we go. Control K does nothing. I mean, the Republicans are losing a little bit of ground. But their borders with the anarchists is actually quite short. In fact, it's only one province. So hopefully the anarchists are making the most trouble for the nationalists. And if they started with troops, which they almost certainly did. I love this new intel system, it's really good. If I had more resources, I'd be investing in my own operations. Like Sneaky Britain's probably looking at everyone right now going, ooh, that's an opportunity. Unfortunately, we do not have that ourselves. Strengthened government will also increase our stability. I think there's a stability area where you start getting strikes and things, but as long as I think it's above like 50%, you're okay. I believe that's true. I don't know if that's the case. I'm so used to playing Kaiserreich, and the stability rules in Kaiserreich are very different from this. The Chinese United Front forms. Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong have issued a joint announcement declaring that they have set aside their differences in the face of the Japanese attack. Both sides will observe a strict policy of non-aggression against each other for as long as the war against Japan lasts, and have vowed to do everything in their power to throw back the invader. A number of smaller warlords have also declared their support, putting their forces under the command of Chiang Kai-shek. Whether the long-term enemies of the Chinese Civil War will actually work together remains to be seen, and many experts believe that this will do little than delay the inevitable defeat of China. Hindenburg disaster. The German passenger ship Hindenburg was destroyed today while attempting to dock at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in the United States. For reasons not yet determined, the airship was engulfed in flames and crashed to the ground, claiming 35 lives. Also, I was watching the, again, time ghost thingy on the Sino-Japanese War. Didn't realise that this was the, like, the demilitarized zone. Except the rule of that treaty was it was only demilitarized for China. Japan could still send troops in there. It's just China couldn't. So that's why this is Chinese and not Manchurian. It's kind of cool that Hearts of Iron's got that in place. With tensions rising around the globe, the US Congress has been the scene of intense discussions about the role the United States should play on the world stage. Many members are concerned that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt might secretly be planning to intervene in a European or Asian war. Some still remember the role of the country played in the Great War, and are anxious to keep the United States out of forgotten entanglements. Eager to shore up support for his proposed programs of economic reform, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt has signed the Neutrality Act into law, which places heavy restrictions on trade with the nations at war and specifically prohibits the president from offering any kind of support to other nations. Ask the Belgians how well neutrality defended them in 1914. Indeed. Let's try and keep an eye on your manpower. Shaanxi joins the Chinese United Front. Earlier today, China and Shaanxi issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member status of the Chinese United Front. Whether this partnership will be used for offensive or defensive purposes remains to be seen, but undoubtedly extensive joint military planning is already underway. Speaking of...
Écoutez.
You guys have run out of fuel again. I'm going to start deploying troops.
Aux ordres. Gardez vos rangs. Aux ordres.
Half of you facing Belgium.
Attention.
Half of you facing Germany.
Écoutez.
And let's make you a different colour. We'll make you pink so we know you're in the same kind of area. Then we're going to put the Alpine troops down here, though you will need some extra support. 4, 5, 6, 7. So you'll need 3 more.
Pareil.
1,
Gardez vos rangs.
2, 3.
Aux ordres.
Alright.
Pareil.
Put the Alpines here as well. I will be assigning generals and stuff later on. Don't think I've forgotten, because I've definitely not forgotten. Oops. Putting you in completely the wrong place. These are the Belgian force.
Aux ordres.
These are the Maginot force.
Écoutez.
These are the Alpine force.
Aux ordres.
These are the mechanized. Which will be stationed here as a reserve.
Attention.
And then the colonials, which I'm going to put into a new theatre completely. Let me think about this for a moment. Need to defend that. That's probably okay. We will need a few troops here. And yes, we do have the Italian front, so let's put, say, 6 of you
Aux ordres.
for the Italians here in Libya.
Écoutez. Écoutez.
Let's put 4
Gardez vos rangs.
of you over here. Defending
Écoutez.
Southeast Asia. Half of you join that force. Half of you join that force.
Attention.
Half of you join that force. Okay. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep us relatively secure for a time. Time has been bought. Let's go strengthen this government. We have made plans for the following year that meet the wishes of the people in all parts of France, show them that we are capable of action and worthy to rule France, that we can again stand united. Jibai Sanma joins the Chinese United Front. Guangxi. So it's a pretty good united front. They got Guangxi, which is the important thing. For their interests, at least.
Attention.
So what's Germany up to in the meantime? Who knows? That's not scary. Because we have no intel with Germany. We have no idea what they're doing. We don't have any of those recon planes, do we? No. Too bad.
Aux ordres.
Oh, right. Yeah, you guys should be on that line, not this one.
Gardez vos rangs.
Improve machine tools. Alright, so that's the first of these done. Those are 39. That's 38. We probably do want radio. That's construction finished. Don't think we're going to need logistics. We are going to need AT. We are definitely going to need AT. That was the big mistake I made when I was doing my first couple of Fortress France. The famous aviator Amelia Earhart, the first woman to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic, has disappeared along with her navigator, Fred Noonan, near Holand Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The two were attempting a flight around the entire world in their twin-engine Lockheed Electra plane when they vanished. A search for the missing aviators is now being conducted by the US Navy and the Coast Guard, but there seems little hope of finding them. Xinjiang joined the Chinese United Front. Earlier today, China and Xinjiang issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member states of the Chinese United Front. Didn't need to read that, I've read it already.
Paré.
I'm going to wait until we have a little bit more fuel before I start training them. Again. Okay, so it looks like the nationalists are actually pushing in against the anarchists. And there it is. Japan's declared war on China. That's going to raise world tensions a little. Uncertainty has long reigned in the Soviet Union. While details are scarce, there's been a series of secret trials at the highest level, and both the generals and the ministers have disappeared from the public eye. The natural assumption is that some great conspiracy has been uncovered within the Communist Party, but no official statement has been made. In addition, the diplomatic reports we have access to indicate that evidence presented at these trials has been far from indisputable. Whatever has been happening, the structure of the Soviet High Command has changed irrevocably. And with that irrevocable change, we are going to have to irrevocably end this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you're enjoying this. If you are, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you get notifications when more videos go live in the future. I think I'm going to do one more now. And then after that, it's going to be over to Twitch. So again, if you want to see this series live, please do head over to twitch.tv/MordredViking, where I will be streaming this from 5 o'clock this evening. It would be absolutely great to see you there. That is going to be the best option to ask questions, interact with the community at large, see how new stuff works. Like, again, I haven't shown off much espionage, and that's going to be something that happens as we get closer to the war breaking out. I do have a Patreon if you wish to support the channel that way. You can find that at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do also have a, this is the YouTube, Discord, which you can find linked in the description below. That's where the community hangs out. They're a cool bunch. And if you have any questions about Heart of Iron or anything else, then that is the place you can talk to them and us and me. I'm there a lot. Yeah, so that's it for me for now. I will see you at 5, or not, hopefully. Not hopefully, I'm saying, or not. But hopefully I will. Thanks very much for watching. I will catch you next time. Until then, goodbye.